Hello, my friends, and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really, really well. And it's really good to have you here. Thank you for coming. And today we'll be looking at what messages does the crystal realm have for you. And this reading was inspired by a deck called the Crystal Magic Tarot, which I just got. And it uses the crystals together with the major and minor arcana of the tarot to deliver messages. And I wanted to give you a crystal themed reading on the basis of that. So what I've done is I've used one of my other crystal decks, which is the Crystal Grid Oracle deck. And I've picked one card from each deck. And I was going to just use the cards, but then I thought to myself, I've got all of these crystals to show you. Now, so it would be ironic just to show you just the picture of it when I've got these crystals here. Now, the thing is I don't have like an actual crystal of turquoise apart from one that I wear, which is a piece of jewelry that I made into, which I'll show you in a second. So then I thought to myself, I've actually got the other two in jewelry form as well. So that's why we've got like pieces of jewelry as well. So I just thought that that was a nice touch. This is why we've got like these weird things here. So with your pile choices, something a little bit different as opposed to just crystals or actual crystal jewelry. So this is about empowering yourself with these crystals. So what messages of empowerment does the crystal realm have for you today? Pile 1, we have turquoise, and this is this beautiful piece of turquoise that I made into a pendant, which is from, I think it's from Peru. It's a beautiful piece. I love it. Okay, that's pile 1. And then pile 2 is hematite. And you have got these gorgeous hematite beads. I have got this is something that appears to me so much, and I've got quite a lot of it. So I was like, what shall I show to you guys? But this, I don't actually have like a pendant, so I thought, let me just show you some beautiful hematite beads. And then pile 3 is this gorgeous tiger's eye pendant. Really beautiful. So you've got turquoise, pile 1, hematite, pile 2, and tiger's eye, pile 3. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose the turquoise. So this is my favorite piece out of the 3. Probably it's the one that I wear the most. It's a very powerful piece of turquoise. It was a stone that was normally associated with royalty, and also because it comes from South America, and pieces of turquoise are quite difficult to get. It's quite pricey as well. So it's a valuable piece, and that kind of makes me think that you are truly in a space right now of where you want to value yourself more. You want to put yourself into a place where you're feeling a lot more worthy of the things that you deserve. Also, the kind of thing about this piece is that, when I make my jewelry, I very much like to only, I just want the beauty of the stone to be present. I don't really want to kind of put any flouncy kind of wire work or anything like that. My technique usually with my wire wrapping, or used to be, because I haven't made jewelry in ages, this is quite old, or a couple of years at least, is about the plainness of the stone, or just the beauty of the stone, so that the beauty of the stone itself can come out. So this is very much about you bringing out what's beautiful in you, rather than like sugarcoating anything or covering it anything else. This is about you bringing out your beauty. So this is what the gemstone energy wants to impart to you, that this beauty that you have, it wants to accentuate the natural beauty that is within you, in order to show the world you know, what you're really, you know, what you're really made of. Because this is quite a, you know, it's quite a big piece, as you can see. It's not a small piece. It's not a small pendant. So it's definitely a statement piece. So it says to me that this is something that you want people to see, or that people need to see it, because it is very powerful. So with that being said, let's pop that to the side. There we go. Can live in the corner there. And yes, you have the turquoise card. Let's read it on the back. So here it says, tranquil and calm, turquoise reminds you that there are gifts in the everyday and each moment in your life matters. Small things add up and become big things over time. Have patience. For all your labels of love, including yourself, regarded as the bridge between heaven and earth, turquoise is a sacred stone in many Native American traditions and is used as a source of healing and connection. Link to the heavens with yourself, the parts that bring you joy and remind you of your own inner magic, which is Scorpio, Sagittarius, Pisces, Jupiter, Venus, and Neptune. And then we've got peace, tranquility, and patience. I do also want to say that it's also very important for the Egyptian tradition as well, for turquoise. So, you know, I think that's important to kind of highlight. So let's have a look at your cards. So we've got Aries. And then we've got Mars. Interesting. Mars reversed and Aries upright. Okay. And then we have, now this card is an alchemy card, so it is going to go a little bit deep. But I thought, because the alchemy is about that whole thing about transmuting the inner lead into gold, like kind of transcendence to self. And there's a lot of things about gems in this deck. Not to kind of highlight the superficiality of that, but to kind of bring out the more kind of deeper aspects of this, you know, of what the turquoise really wants to say to you in this. Wow. And I shuffled these cards. I picked out, right, each of them before. And this card came for pile 1. But I didn't, but then I something said to me, redo it. And it came out again for you, which is really interesting. So, really interesting. And then let's look at this one. And then again, we've got placing selenite crystal under my pillow means I awakened with a cleansed aura and realigned chakras. I rise feeling centered and balanced. So we'll look at that a little bit more in depth afterwards. But what I'm getting here is that there is misdirected energy. I'm feeling like you're not very kind to yourself. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. There's a kind of lack of kindness. Because this oil of vitriol is when something is being alchemized and something is not really safe to hold or be in the lab, that's what happens. It's kind of like the really toxic form of the substance that's being transformed. So, and particularly with Mars being reversed, it's almost like that energy is kind of being directed, that not very nice energy is being directed towards yourself. So what the crystals so far are saying is that you need to make sure that the only energy that is going towards you is good energy, because that's the only thing that really matters. So, okay, let's have a look at the cards with this beautiful deck. Sorry if that was a bit loud. Try and do a little bit quieter. There we go. Okay. Right, so we've got the 9 of coins reversed, and that's Budstone. Interesting. I do have that as well. Beautiful. Okay, that's Budstone. We have Black Tourmaline with the Tower. And we have the Queen of Swords, Black Diamond. Interesting, because I did feel like a Queen of Swordsy vibe. I'm glad to see that it's upright. Okay, then it's not you, it's other people. Right, okay, I understand now. 10 of Wands, aquamarine, copper. And then I want one more. Which is the Knight of Swords. And then we've got strength. Okay, nice. So we've got like the Tower and strength upright with carnelian and black tourmaline. And then we've also got 9 of Coins, Queen of Swords, 10 of Wands, Knight of Swords, and strength. So, I mean, it's clear that you're scared to go forward because of it. There seems like some kind of backlash. That if you were to embody your true power and be who you're supposed to be, then you would, you might cause a bit of upset. And the main thing here is that, you really, I don't know, maybe it might be that you want to kind of either work with someone or you don't want to be working alone. It seems like there's a desire that you want to work with people, but it seems to me like there's only a certain type of person that can take you, or certain types of people that can take you. Because the thing is with the vitriol is that it has to be contained in a particular container. It has to be in something that's very specific in order for it to be held and be okay. And we've got like we've got this gold here, which says to me that there's definitely something here that can be transmuted, but it needs to be held in a container, which means that you need to have people that can take you. Now, I'm not saying that we can all behave how we're supposed, like how we want, and people just take us for who we are. I really don't believe that. I think it's a compromise, but I also think that I work with a lot of people, and also my own personal experience in terms of like dumbing down the self in order to accommodate for other people, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's almost like there's almost like a turning in on the self and thinking, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with what I'm doing? Because I've got this like beautiful power of this turquoise energy that I want to kind of give to everyone, and I want to kind of like put out to the world. But unfortunately I can't, because the backlash that I get just really kind of, it hurts me. We've got, so that's 35. So that's number 8. So it's almost like you really want to move forward. You want to move ahead, but it's quite difficult for you to do so because you're just kind of scared of what other people will think, or whether other people will be able to take you. And it's difficult because you really want to go forward. Like, you're actually born to be driven and born to go ahead and go forward. That's this is your destiny. This is what you're meant to be doing. This is what the crystals are saying. They're saying you're supposed to be going forward and putting yourself out there and making yourself be seen as a king or a queen, because that's what this stone is also about. Turquoise was inlaid in the stone, in the crown. And I mean, the main thing I'm getting is in Tutankhamun's jewelry, or in the jewelry that was in the ancient Egyptian jewelry, that this is like a really common stone. That and carnelian is here in strength. So I think it's really important to consider that there are just some people that just can't take your greatness. And you've got two really strong, super strong cards here. Mars is Aries is ruled by Mars, but Mars is reversed, which means that the energy that what it's ruled by is being pushed on internally as opposed to external. So there's something about you, it feels like the energy is turning inwards as opposed to outwards. And that's why this vitriol is kind of coming out. It's almost like you're taking on the crap of other people, and that is what's causing you to disempower yourself. With the but you don't want to be alone. You really don't. You don't want this to happen, which is why you may have been kind of compromising yourself. But I think with black tourmaline and also with the tower, there's this idea that you can kind of, or not even idea, there's a sense that you can actually move beyond this And it's almost like the wake-up call that you needed to realize, actually, you know what, I'm not going to compromise for other people. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to go forward. And even though I need to have this kind of like, there's a strong sense of boundaries when it comes to the Queen of Swords. She's got her boundaries laid out due to the emotional damage that she's received from past experiences. She's like, I'm not going to take any more BS. So she's really going to create those boundaries. And the black diamond is that. It's interesting going from black tourmaline, which is the actual cutter, which is the one that actually is... I've got some tourmaline right here. So this is black tourmaline. So this is like the protection. So actually it's not the cutter. I do apologize. It's more actually the absorber. It's the one that absorbs and takes in the negative energy and then destroys it. And that's what the tower is. So it's about you being able to kind of transmute that negative energy, which is quite synonymous with this oil of vitriol. So it's almost like, you're taking all the rubbish and then you're turning, and then with this kind of like impact, it creates this gold ball, And then what's interesting is then you've got the Queen of Swords, and then that comes as a result, and it turns into a black diamond, which is, diamond is carbon, under great amount of pressure, and it turns into this beautiful diamond, which is the hardest substance known to man, or one of them. So it's just really interesting how this transmutation is going on here. And then you've got the Ten of Wands here with aquamarine. Now I think, you're feeling like, I don't know, like whether or not you're feeling that this is, do you have to go through this again? And I think it is, I just think it's formidable that you would want to do that you would want to continue to go on. But I do also think that it's something that's within your nature. Like, you will do that because that's what you want to do. I'm just having a look at what this says because it's a mermaid. Mermaid's treasure with aquamarine. A stone of calm and tranquility. If you need to shed some baggage, use aquamarine. So the affirmation that's associated with this card is, I release all negative energy from my mind and body, and I release the need to blame anyone, including myself. I think, because in the relation to the affirmation, I don't know how I feel, whether or not it resonates. But the thing is that I think in order for you to continue to go on this path where you can meet your tribe, you will have to embody that affirmation so that you can continue swimming, because there is going to be this thing where, like, the Ten of Wands is the kind of struggle. So you want to continue going through that kind of stage so that you can transmute into this, because I don't really see you stopping, really. I think you want to continue going on through this. And I don't know if it's like with a group of friends and you're trying to make them see something. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. I wouldn't try so much with people that you just know that you can't succeed. I would really kind of make sure that you are around and stick to people who allow you to be who you really want to be, because otherwise it could be really damaging. And then you've also got here the Knight of Swords, which is copper, and it's reversed. And what's really interesting is that copper is directly related to love. It's the stone of love. I remember an ex-boyfriend gave me a piece of natural copper. He didn't even know what it was, but he just gave it to me because he knew I liked crystals, and I was like, wow, do you realize that you've given me a real symbol of love? And this was very early on in our relationship, so it was really interesting. But this means that you can't express love and you can't receive love because you're in that space. So you need to be in this, you need to be in a space where you kind of make sure that you are really being honest and congruent with yourself. Don't deny yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't deny yourself, because with the Knight of Swords, it's almost like there's a tendency to not go forward. Let me just have a look at this guy. Interesting. So, there's kind of this thing of not going forward. Like you're not able to like come forward as fast as you would like to. You're not able to communicate your ideas as much as you would because you don't know whether or not they're going to be received well or not. So that's where the carnelian comes in, the strength comes in, and it's about you being able to kind of, and it's interesting because this tiger is like crouching down. It's almost like it's ready to pounce, or it's ready, or it's just chilling, you know, one of the two. You don't know what's going on. And then you've got these hands here that kind of like envelop it, and like keep it, and are looking to stroke it. So there's this idea of you harnessing the strength and also like kind of like taking care of yourself, because that is the strength. So making sure you take care of yourself and your ideas so that you're in a safe space to be able to express them is what the crystals are really saying here. And then if we look at this card, placing selenite crystal, and not all of these cards are about crystals, so it's really interesting. Placing a selenite crystal, which is, I have some selenite, but like, hold on, let me just see if I can get it for you. It's a big piece of selenite. So this is selenite. This is selenite crystal. Placing selenite crystal under my pillow means I awaken with a cleansed aura and realigned chakras. I rise and feel centered and balanced. Now it's also known as gypsum. They're also pretty cheap. You can use them to like kind of, you know, wave around your aura. They're really good. So check it out, or even just a small piece. I don't have small pieces of selenite. I've only got big pieces because it's cheap. It's not very expensive. These are also selenite as well. So you can pick up some selenite and have that underneath your pillow. It does cleanse you because it is the only crystal that doesn't need cleansing itself. So work with selenite as well to help yourself get realigned so that you're able to make sure that you're your truest form. Do take note of all of the different types of like crystals that I've mentioned here. Budstone is a very good stone. That's it's like kind of, they call it like African jade. So that's also a beautiful stone to work with as well. But have a think about all of the different stones that have like come up here. Garnet usually is associated with Mars and Tuesday and Aries, or the fiery stones, but then you've also got the carnelian as well. So, you know, you've got lots of stones to kind of help you, or lots of crystal energy to help you here. But the crystals are really telling you that, you know, embrace your power, particularly with this turquoise here. I always feel super powerful whenever and I can say my truth whenever I wear it. So please do that. That's what they're saying. So my darlings, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the hematite beads. We have the picture of hematite here. But then we also have these beautiful beads. They're really universal. That's the one thing that I kind of love about hematite. It's one of the things that always come to me. It's quite heavy as well. Do I have any hematite here to show you? Yes, I do actually. I've got like a piece of raw hematite. This is botryoidal hematite, which means that whenever a thing is called botryoidal, I think that's how you say it, it means that it bubbles up. So this is what it looks like in its raw form, and this is what it looks like when it's polished. So the thing I get from this is that this is immense grounding, and also there's a sense of universality, universal feeling, universality. I don't even know if that's a word, but like something that is secure, something that is grounded, something that is safe. The thing about hematite is that it's base chakra. It's also about, it also has iron, so it's very much to do with the earth. And it's heavy. That's the one thing that I'm getting. It's heavy, and it's cold as well, you know. I mean, not when you wear it like against the skin. When it's on the skin, it conducts heat like you wouldn't believe. But it's it's a very grounding stone. And not only that, like, you know, this looks like the kind of jewelry that you could wear with anything, which I have done quite a lot. Like, this is a very useful piece. And, you know, it just kind of like helps me. It goes with like every outfit, or like most outfits, you know, it's just really universal, grounded, dependable. So the crystals want to tell you, I think, to begin with, is that there's a sense of dependability that either needs to come. I think you need it. Otherwise it wouldn't say that, you know, it wouldn't have it, I don't think. Let's see what the card itself has to say. Hematite and grounding, magnetic pull and focus. Okay, so there's something maybe that you need to be, that needs to come to you. Maybe you're attracting something to you. With a magnetism that is sky high, hematite has the ability to absorb negative emotions and create strong energetic boundaries. Its authoritarian force releases self-imposed limitations. A powerful stone to use in grounding oneself, hematite activates the root chakra and balances out all of the 7 chakras by pulling toxicity from your aura, deriving from the Latin word for blood. Hematite cleanses the blood and in the body by promoting circulation and energizing the nervous system to begin anew. Use hematite when you need that extra boost, and it's Aries, Aquarius and Saturn. Okay, so with that being said, I shall pop that over here. There we go. Right, and let's have a look at your other cards. So we have Virgo, and we have Neptune reversed, and then we also have conjunctio or conjunction. Interesting. Okay, so what I get from this is that there's some need for clarity in order to get really clear on your dreams, I think. You may be feeling like you're not able to connect with your dreams. You're not able to connect with the things that you actually really want to do. And I think that the reason why that's happening is because there's a need for grounding. And there was an exercise that I spoke about in one of my daily readings, which was called the Disney strategy. And what that is it involves, when you have an idea, you have 3 components. You have the dreamer, who thinks up of the idea of whatever it is, you know, the whole dream of the thing that you want. Then you have the planner, who is the strategist, the one who like makes it happen. And then you have the critic, who's the one that kind of annihilates the plan, or like kind of like is the one that says how this can't work, how this won't work, etc., etc. Now, when you've got these three components together, there's a rule that you never let the critic come in touch with the dreamer, because if you do, then the critic will destroy the dream. The critic is only allowed to come in contact with the planner so that they can annihilate the plan, but the dream will always be like free. The planner will only communicate with the dreamer. That's the only connection that there is there. But the planner will only also communicate with the critic. It won't communicate with the planner. It won't communicate with the critic will not communicate with the dreamer. Now, in this respect here, I think we've got the critic is all over the dreamer right now. There's an inability to even think about like what the dreamer is doing right now. Because I wasn't sure whether or not you needed more of this stabilization, or, you know, what was the actual message from it. So what I'm thinking is that you actually, there needs to be like a rootedness so that you can kind of keep these two away from each other. Because Virgo is the critic, the major critic. If you've got any friends that tell you what's wrong when it's wrong, and you know, and think that they're right, they've probably got strong Virgo things in their chart. I'm guilty of that, so yeah. And I know a lot of people with strong Virgo placements. So like, I think, you know, understanding, and the thing is that Virgo is about service. Virgo is about understanding the things that don't work in order to make things work, That's what it's about. So in that respect of that kind of that dynamic, that exercise that I spoke about, is very important to use the grounding of hematite to be able to root the critic, and also like to basically keep these two away from each other so that there can be a healthy relationship developing. And then you can use this hematite as the planner, because that's why there's this idea of the conjunction, because you do want to bring them together, but you want to do it in a safe way. So it's almost like physically, this needs to be in between. This needs to be in between them. I'll put this there actually. So it needs to be like that, basically, so that they can join together. So interesting. I think that's what it's saying for you to do. That's what the energy is telling you to do, because it will help you to feel a lot better about things. Because sometimes, you know, we can get overwhelmed and think that our dreams are a load of rubbish, but they're not. It's just about how we can like ground it within reality. And that's the beauty of hematite. That's what it does. So how can we make it a reality? Just to double check, 50, 60, 70, 71. So 8 again, like pile number 1. So there's something about the realization of this. It's very much about you bringing it into manifestation, which is the whole thing with the crystal energy. It's about you bringing it into the 3D reality. So let's see what the tarot has to say. We've got some really beautiful messages that came from through the pile 1. So let's see with this deck. So, and loads of crystal energy. I really like it. I think it's also because I actually like the tarot. I kind of like have a knowledge about the crystals a little bit, so yeah, I know more about it than I do astrology anyway. Oh, so we've got the Magician reversed. Interesting. 10 of Swords reversed. The 4 of Swords reversed. Okay, we'll take. Yeah. No, that's too many. Sorry. If it was 7, I would, but okay. So we've got the 2 of Cups. Okay, Paul. 2. What's going on? Right. Okay. So I don't know if you were involved with someone who was quite manipulative that might have stopped you from, you know, saying your ideas, your dreams. Because it feels to me like you weren't able to communicate this at all. You weren't able to, you know, you might have had an external force that was stopping you. And it seems like it was a person that was stopping you from being able to kind of make things happen for yourself. Because I see you as this Queen of Cups. And Morganite is a beautiful stone. And this beautiful pink, soft stone, just like the colour of this. But it's also quite a rare stone. And it's you know, it's not, you know, it's quite highly prized as well. So the idea is I think that this is what you are, because you're trying to like kind of ground yourself. But I think that there may have been some real criticism. There was someone or some kind of force that didn't allow you to kind of manifest into what you were supposed to be. And then with the 10 of Swords reversed, there's almost like some sense of truth that's here. That you know, I don't know, I've got a feeling like you may have broken out of a relationship that may have been quite, you know, mentally not so nice. That's what I think. And I don't know, like many people who I know that have been in quite damaging relationships with people, be it friends, family, or partners, when they come out of the relationship, it's almost like a plug has been released from a bath. That's the only analogy I can think of from my own experience. But it's like you feel amazing, like life starts again and amazing things start to happen again. And that's really interesting with the 4 of Swords and then that being reversed, because that's 4 of Swords reversed is an awakening. And amber is usually associated with babies. So it helps It helps babies when they're teething. Also, amber is very, very good for encouraging the solar plexus chakra. And also for its fossilized tree resin. So it's almost like a polished version of something that has been kept, you know, something that was alive, but then has also almost solidified because it's not been allowed to move on, and now it's able to be released. That's why it could, well, with it being reversed. Black kyanite is a stone that completely sweeps away. They call it witch's broom. And it sweeps away bad energy, negative energy. It's very powerful for being able to do that. I've got a beautiful pendant of it. And it's very good at just getting rid of drama, which is exactly what the Ten of Swords is. I love this deck so far because it's really congruent with all of the tarot, correspondences. Jade also, jade can be used to manipulate in the respect of, like, you know, it is so powerful, just like with anything. You know, jade is the imperial stone. It's one of the imperial stones. So imperial stone meaning it's a royal stone. So it's a stone just like, say, for example, turquoise, carnelian, you know, those kind of stones that were prized and used a lot in royalty. And also it brings a lot of prosperity and attraction. But then obviously that can be manipulated into a certain thing. So if it isn't grounded, or if it's used in a different way, or used to oppress even, because there's some oppression here with this Neptune card reversed. It's almost like you weren't allowed to be able to, and it's interesting how that's jade, and you know, that looks like a jadey kind of color. So there was something like maybe like words, because we've got the swords here and the Ace of Swords. I do feel like maybe you were told that you weren't able to do something, or that you weren't allowed to do something, or, you know, the things that people said to you, or this person said to you, it stopped you from believing that you had some kind of possibility of a future, or a possibility of this dream. Because the first thing I thought of, no, actually I didn't. No, that's part one, sorry. So, but yeah, there is that kind of like heaviness, that now it's now time for you to use that to kind of like ground your own sense of self, rather than using it to kind of like protect and block. Ametrine is interesting. Ametrine is like the combination of two stones. It's the combination of amethyst and citrine. Real citrine is very, very hard to come by. Do I have any here? Sometimes I do. Is this citrine? No, that's not. Yeah, real citrine is very... Oh, yeah, I do, actually. Here's citrine. I don't know if I have any amethyst here. I should really have amethyst. This is real citrine. It's a lot darker than, you know, the kind of like conventional citrine, which is kind of heat treated for you to be able to, you know, it's heat treated from amethyst, which, funnily enough, I don't. Oh, I do. She does. So, you've got, this is amethyst, and then you've got the citrine. These two combined together, they form ametrine, which I don't have because usually I give it away. It doesn't really stay with me that often. So these two together, it's interesting. And also interesting that I just said that, you know, I don't have any ametrine to show you as well. So it's meaning that there's something else for you. There's something else to bring you. There's something else that's going to be stronger for you. Let me just have a look at this card. And it's interesting because I don't know, I just feel like, because she's looking there, and the amethyst is kind of like wrapping her arms around the citrine or the yellow. It just kind of doesn't look to me like it's two people that are going together. Be interesting what I think when that's the right way up. But yeah, this is very much about you finding yourself, and about you finding your own groundedness and strength. I think that's what the crystals are trying to tell you. And then you've got the Ace of Swords, which is Tiger's Eye. Now, for me, tiger's eye is very much about protection. And it's also a very Gemini stone, which is associated with the Ace of Swords. So there's something about you being able to really be honest with your thoughts, your feelings, and being able to communicate that in a good way. But, you know, hematite is also a Gemini stone as well. So there's something very strong about the communication. I don't know, you may need to like look at something to unblock your throat chakra, because there's something, and I think that this hematite will help you to unblock the throat chakra by being grounded. Because, you know, as I just said, hematite is a Gemini stone, and the throat chakra is Gemini as well. And it's to do with those with that aspect, so the communication. So that might be something to think about in order to help yourself in this space. And then we've also got the Queen of Cups, Morganite. So I think with this, you really need to nourish yourself and honor your feelings. And I think that that will help you to kind of like do this work. I think, you know, you really have to be tender and kind to yourself. That's really important. Okay, and then this last card, I cook with cinnamon, vanilla and cloves to encourage success and to run through my mind and body. Now that's really interesting, because vanilla is about comfort and holding space and being able to really nourish yourself. Cinnamon ignites you gently, you know, it's stimulating. So it's good to like warm yourself up, and clove is very protective. Hematite is very protective. Cinnamon is stimulating, and then the vanilla is comforting. So you've got some really nice combinations there to help you with that, with your kind of journey with the gemstones, and to basically anchor in the teachings of what they've kind of given to you. But I hope you enjoyed that, my friends. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. I'd love to hear your comments and, you know, your stories down below. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And remember, honesty is always key. Bye. Hi, Path 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger's Eye. Now, Tiger's Eye is a really powerful stone. It's a stone that kind of evokes, you know, groundedness, but also power. It's power. You've got this beautiful kind of like, I don't know what they call it. It's not luminescence. It's that marbled effect, you know. I can't remember what it's called, but it's just so beautiful when it's polished, because on raw tiger's eye it's not as prevalent. But it's usually associated with the sun. So definitely, like on days where I need power and protection, this is when I wear this. So there's something about like evoking power and protection, and also something about you wanting people to see you and hear you and know what you're about. You're like not pulling any punches. Even though that this is like a small stone, it's still very powerful. And I've got some really gorgeous pieces of hematite, not hematite, they both have iron, that's why, of tiger's eye. So yeah, it's very powerful. Good to wear on a Sunday as well. I love it when I wear it on a Sunday. Okay, and then I will read what this is. So we have tiger's eye, courage, optimism and power. A courageous and brave stone. Tiger's eye motivates you to show up as your best self, dispelling any fear and doubt in your path. Known as the shapeshifter, tiger's eye embodies healing energies from both the earth and the sun, drawing optimism around towards you while grounding you in reality. Call on the warrior inside of you and pursue your ambitions with laser focus. With confidence, strength and power, tiger's eye helps break through any blockages that stand in your way. Activate the warrior inside of you. Leo, Capricorn and the sun. Sorry, I was reading it there and I don't know if like I messed it up, but I hope you could see that there. Maybe you can pause it and then you can read it there for yourself if I've mucked that up. But anyway, there's the card there and there's the actual stone. So we'll pop that there and then we'll have a look at your cards. So We have Vesta and Pluto. Now, I don't know which one was upside. I don't know which one I got. I don't know if I turned them over or something. So I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So this might be the wrong way around. This might be the wrong way around. But hey, doesn't matter. I'll read both ways. And then we've also got solution or solutio, solution. Wow. Interesting. So there's this thing about like transformation, embracing of power, but transformation, but being able to understand like where you came from, because there's something about you transforming into something, but being able to be okay with that. 50, 65. So that's 11. We've got a master number here. So there's something about you going into a new phase of life that's actually really powerful for you right now. It does feel like it might be in the like external. It doesn't feel like it's internal, even though it's this thing of dissolving. It may be a sense of integration, which is going on here. That's kind of what I've got from this Pluto being reversed, and about you being able to like basically harness the things that you know, and being able to put that out into the world, or being able to put that into the community or something like that. There's something about you using the power, using the force, using what you know and dissolving it into or integrating it. I wouldn't say so much dissolving. I'd say it's more of an integration, because even when a solution like dissolves, it changes. You know, sometimes it dissolves into nothing, but the idea really about dissolution is about that old thing being completely broken so that the old form is no longer recognizable. It's something else. And that's what I'm getting here. So let's see what the cards have to say. What messages does the crystal world have for you? Crystal energies have for you. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords reversed with obsidian. We have the Page of Cups, which is Veracruz amethyst. We have the Nine of Wands, which is azurite. We have the Queen of Cups again with morganite, which came out of a pile too. We have the Ace of Coins, which is moss agate. And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is blue kyanite. Right, okay, interesting. Good, you can see all of that. Right. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to have a look at what Veracruz amethyst is, because I know amethyst, but there's something about Veracruz that is a little bit different, so bear with me. So essentially Veracruz amethyst is it just has like a lighter energy compared to like amethyst. Amethyst is quite intense, you know. It's quite heavy. Like I actually can't wear any amethyst because it's a bit too much for me. But it is a very popular stone. I do have it around. And it's very good for you, like very cleansing. But it particularly likes like to communicate with the angelic realm. So what I'm getting here is that there's been maybe some kind of inability to connect with that space. Because the obsidian is very clear. It's very cutting. It allows you to kind of cut through any BS and get through to the matter. It may also be this sense of you kind of, I wouldn't say so much losing your opinion, but like the opinion doesn't really matter so much, because I think you're starting to understand that it doesn't really matter that much anymore, because there's a bigger game here at play. I think that's what it is. Because, you know, as we start to mature and get older, we start to realize that there is just no point in arguing so much and trying to resist. It's that whole thing of like resistance. And when what you resist persists. And it's almost like there's this sense of like not resisting it. That is a bit of a struggle to get up to that point because of the Nine of Wands, and particularly with Azurite, like it's almost like a sense of, with that beautiful deep blue energy, there's this sense of you being, you having to go through it in order to get there. But with this Morganite, I really like this card. This Queen of Cups, because it's almost like to consistently take care of yourself is like the way to do this, the way to integrate yourself really well. And it actually helps you to create more abundance for yourself in a way that you hadn't done before. I will say though, there are going to be like kind of some home truths that come to the surface that you may be like, oh God, I wasn't expecting that to happen. So it's almost like you may, and it's interesting how these blues are here. So there may be some like old skeletons in the closet that may come to light, that you may have to deal with, that you may have thought that you've dealt with. I'm using the word may a lot. You may have thought that you have dealt with it. But I think just consistently taking care of yourself is going to be really good for you to kind of move forward and do things as much as you can. And create those opportunities for yourself. Let's see what this card has to say. Nothing is beyond my reach. I manifest by asking myself what I really want, and I visualize my limitless goals as if I was living them in the present. So it's almost like becoming one with the idea of what you're trying to achieve. Like dissolving yourself into this space rather than thinking that you're separate from it. Because I think that's also something that can happen with the whole manifestation idea. We can think about the idea of what we want, but because it's something that we're looking towards, we lack that ability to integrate into ourselves. And that's what this is asking you to do. It's asking you to like become at home with it. To remember that fire that burns bright within your heart, and to kind of just let yourself go to it, to dissolve into it. What I've just realized, what's really interesting, and we do have wands here. Yeah, we do have Seven of Wands. Okay, right. So there is a dissolving of the ego that's going on here, pile 3. Typical pile 3. It's because you're so good, pile 3s. Like you're like my super crews, super guys. So pile 3, like I'm thinking with this particularly, it's the dissolution of ego. Now that is thrown around a lot. So what I am proposing, or what I'm suggesting, that the cards are suggesting, is for you to integrate. I've been saying that several times. Integration. It's about you integrating this, and how do you use this effectively rather than like, denying it. Because here with the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands, yes, there's a kind of like, a resistance. But it's almost like you know what's going on. So you have to kind of like break through that and just integrate it. How you do it is by following your heart and understanding that you are protected, that you have power, and that this is all part of the process. Understand that you will be defensive, but you have to let it go. And that's the whole thing about the Two of Swords, like that is letting it go. Moss agate is really nice as well, because moss agate is a stone that works slowly. It works really slowly, but it is a gorgeous stone. If you get a piece of moss agate and meditate with that, that will definitely help you with this. Kyanite, blue kyanite is that kind of like, it almost like slices through stuff, and it's very truth-bearing. So sometimes, like, you think that you can take the truth, but then you can't, because you're just like, oh God, really? So, you're like, oh, I thought I could take it, but actually I can't. So there's a bit of that there, and you may vacillate between this, and particularly with this Nine of Wands here, like it's, you know, the defenses will be there. They'll be high. But as long as you consistently take care of yourself, consistently manage your emotions, which, to be honest, it's saying that you will do that because it's part of the transformation. And keep this with you, like get a piece of tiger's eye and just keep it on you. I mean, as a pendant, it's really great to work with. I don't know, I wore it as a ring and it broke, so I don't know, I don't seem to do very well with it as a ring, but as a pendant, or like I've got it as a belt as well. It's really nice to wear, so more like a protective kind of like amulet or something. But yeah, nothing too kind of... Also something that I feel like, even though you're integrating yourself, don't lose yourself, you know, completely. But that may be the issue. It may be the fact that like you're thinking, oh God, if I lose myself in this space, what's going to happen to me? But actually, you know, you've got all the freedom there. In the respect of you sitting in that bath and just chillaxing with your shades on. But yeah, I think that's all the messages I have for you from the crystals, pile 3. Beautiful messages. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. Please do also let me know what you thought in the comments. I'd love to know your stories. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. And remember, honesty is always key. Bye.